Attached to all enemies. Okay. Huh. Alright, so the orb will kill everyone. That's gonna kill Heinrich. Where's the boss? Is the boss the orb? Did he turn into that? Wait, no, here he is. Alright.
I have read tomes of military tactics. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Oh, so close.
If I may, in the name of House Orselio, I shall prevail.
Alright, that's done.
I will not. That is not the Emperor's
Argenta
will.
can't move, even with dash. Why?
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Alright, running guns up. Let's use
God,
that.
Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart.
The game didn't expect me to actually win that fight. It broke. Turns out he has a weakness for girls with guns. Oh my god, don't we all? That's it, that's the end of the game. Can I hit skip cutscene? No! Like your team is balanced as an average go or CVP. Dude, reminder that on turn 1, she was hitting for like 0 to 2 damage. Oh, there we go. And then later at the end, she was hitting for thousands. Why is it in the egg? The ancient monster struggles against the energy manacles of the yoke. Its impossible powers that make reality itself burst at the seams are now being forced into a compact dungeon, quark by quark, returning it to a cruel and painful non-existence in the moment. It could struggle harder, but something hinders it. You are the cause of these hindrances. Now, only now does the Catan shard turn its focus to you, for the battle was nothing more than the reflexive resistance of an alien mind absorbed in a completely different range of thoughts and responses. Yeah, Catans are so strong, humans are not supposed to be able to take that. It's like fighting a god, so phrasing it like that is an excuse. But now it is thinking about you, and its thoughts are so corporeal you can sense them and know them. It seeks an end to the confrontation. It is capable of resolving it in a way that would benefit all. More and more tears appear all over the shard's form. As the yoke absorbs its power, it becomes increasingly harder for the shard to maintain its physical structure. Each imperfection you inflict brings the Star Predator closer to imprisonment. Theodora? As yet another layer of reality cracks, a figure appears before you. Her. After giving you a probing and appraising look, Theodora permits herself a slight smile. Alright, this feels like a pick your ending. Destroy the yoke and kneel before the deity to serve. Make it bend to your will, or destroy it. Serve the Catan? No, dude, heresy. No. Deliver the final blow. I consign you to oblivion without end, monster! Your strike leaves another fracture on its ethereal body, forcing the Catan to expend one more grain of its attention on maintaining its physical form, and that is all it takes for its power to start flowing into the yoke in an endless stream. The ancient monstrosity lets out an enraged howl, for this is the second time in an eternity that its freedom is being usurped in so forceful a fashion. As you stand before the Yoke's control altar, you gaze upon it, possibly the greatest instrument of destruction in the history of your race. The key that unlocks the gates to the nigh unfettered heights of power. A weapon. The cogitator block that was designed to transmit orders to the imprisoned Catan shatters into pieces. It is a weapon no longer, merely a prison. An Imperium-made prison for a Catan. Dude, I want to shoot Kalkazar. Why is he still alive? The Catan Shard was destroyed. The shadow of calamity threatening the Coronis expanse, should the ancient god ever be unshackled, had been lifted, at least for a time. Gazing upon the drained and crippled worlds, the Rogue Trader saw innumerable opportunities for the growth of his dynasty. From the ashes of decades of relative peace, a new ambitious power was set to rise. Pulled between various forces that were desperate to control the Rogue Trader, his lordship managed to walk the fine line between fanaticism, heresy, and becoming a heartless monster. Yeah, I never went all the... Like, I definitely leaned toward Iconoclast, but I definitely didn't go all the way down either route. Each force was either an ally or an enemy, but none were his master. Muck von Luck von Valancius Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire the Fourth served only himself and his dynasty. Everything else was either a resource or a trophy. Having lost its leader and lacking a worthy successor, the Corded dynasty begins to weaken. Oh, this guy's getting a drink. The grim legacy of the abominable Aspis revealed itself, and the Protectorate fell into chaos. Grasping claimants tore the defenseless Demesne apart. After openly embracing the patronage of the Skull God, Caligos Winterscale swept over the expanse like a fiery tornado. Wait, what? I didn't realize he was serving one of the Dark Gods. Bombing peaceful planets and destroying void ships, his dynasty's realm became a nest of piracy and heresy that required immediate purging. The cult of St. Drusus continued its indefatigable struggle to spread the faith around the expanse and expose the vile transgressions of the authorities. The stronger and wealthier a planet was, the less its rulers wanted to see the black-clad preachers. Riots and assassinations pushed the cult to the place where it felt the most confident, the frontier. Hieronymus Doloroso remained as the most revered priest in the cult of St. Drusus. Oh my gosh, Guild MM. Okay, quick pause here. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Michael Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire the Fourth, this is Johnson Vessel the Third. Welcome to you and yours to the lab. Hope you enjoy your stay today with all the way. Cricket with fingers, sometimes the biggest giveaways every week. Please take a seat, you'll only need the edge. Alright, chat, hold on. This guy just gifted 10 subscriptions, and he loves this. So quick break. A word from our sponsor of the next 2 minutes. Guild MM. Yo, shout out to Bobby Boulon. I want to show you guys something. On Twitch, we've got the animated emotes, okay? YouTube doesn't have those. But Bobby, our dear Bobby, look at this. Bobby found a way to dance in the emoteless YouTube chat. I freaking love it. I love it. Keep that energy. Do not change. Okay. Thank you again, Guild MM. Appreciate you. Alright, back to the outro credits. Let's see. He turned no one away, hearing confessions from pirates, bilge-rats, deserters, and beggars alike. It might have been one of those undeserving wretches who infected him with the rare form of leprosy that robbed him of his sight, yet his heart could always see the corruption in the souls of his repenting children. Leprosy, yo, that's like that's the story of the leper in Darkest Dungeon. In the following years, the Cognizance fleet slowly and deliberately left the explored systems of the Expanse for the furthest remote regions. Yo, this was the guy that blew himself up to basically pocket nuke that one, Hilbert. Observation stations and claimed worlds were abandoned, and even Euphrates II became derelict. Statistical divination warned the fleet's conclave of the grim events awaiting the Expanse, and they decided to deliver the fellows from the coming storm. Yet they did not share the truth with the lay people. The schism of discontinuing the cycle engulfed the entire Cognizance fleet, and soon the Civil War was over. Disregarding the commandments of their forefathers, the explorators started down a dangerous path of new comprehension, creation, and revision of procedures and algorithms. The fleet was united once more, and in its unity, it was ready to stare down any horrors standing in the way of the catechism of maintenance and operation. The crisis in the Expanse dealt a serious blow to the business interests of the Fellowship of the Void. Having no powerful allies, they retreated into the darkness of frontier systems. The hard life they faced there forged them into a new tribe, furious, wild, and willing to do anything for survival. They swore to return and retake what had once been theirs. For many years, old Rizza presided over the captains of the Fellowship. At the end of her life, she once again took the helm of a ship and led an unprecedented attack on the mother squadron of the Cognizance fleet, during which the attackers managed to seize a dozen transport ships loaded with the Omnissiah's sacred gifts. Violence throughout the Expanse put many on their guard, and as a result, the Kazbala Commission's business declined. Soon, rumors surfaced among the coal traders about a so-called commission that had made it through the Maw and into the Expanse. Its professed purpose was to audit assets and take measures to restructure operations. These words carried with them an ominous threat. Vladimir Takara, as Liege of Footfall, survived 14 assassination attempts and thwarted no less than 2,000 schemers before a shot finally took his life. The esteemed Liege's funeral was held in great secrecy, with only his closest entourage being permitted to view his corpse, which spawned peculiar rumors. The Imperial Navy was wary of the rise of von Valancius. They saw themselves as dogs guarding the flock of the Emperor's subjects, and there was as a new master of the Pact. Therefore, the dynasty was watched with utmost diligence, and the admirals feared that one day they would have to go to war against the rogue traitor. Chartist Captain Austerius Thorfast founded the Thorfast and Companions Merchant Company. Excelling in trade and acquiring a substantial escort fleet, after 3 decades he traveled to the Maw to return the Imperium in hopes of obtaining the fabled warrant of trade. It is not known how this venture would end. Dargonus continued to grow for 2 decades until a terrifying rebellion put a decisive end to its prosperity. A genetic anathema known as the Gene Stealer Cult infiltrated the hives of Dargonus and tried to take over the world. Millions were exterminated, and purges and street battles destroyed many hives, setting Dargonus back centuries and depriving it of its chance to become the capital of the Expanse. Kiava Gamma washed off the stain of its former defilement, but not the dark memory of it. The sacred halls were never silent, and production rates became the supreme law. The glory of the Imperium was forged in the blood and sweat of its toilers, and the millstones of the manufactorums ground the workers down by the thousand. Even in death, the souls of its servants dared not step away from their machines. Kiava Gamma grew and new manufactorums were founded until disturbing reports started to trickle in many years later. It seemed that someone had secretly taken control of the colony, shrouding it in a tangle of conspiracy. Neither inquiries nor threats to tech priests or executions helped. Someone in the shadows was weaving their web and making secret plans. Mysterious xeno-anomalies plagued Janus for many years. The ghosts of the Inhumans who had controlled the planet continued to haunt the land. The serfs suffered from strange maladies, and the agri-complexes were inexorably struck by blight and famine. The servants of the rogue trader feared the ghastly planet and sought to be transferred off the filthy Argarian colony at the first opportunity. Huh. Xeno-anomalies plague Janus. That's odd. I wonder what that is, because, like, Janus had, there was Eldari on it, and I took care of that. And then there was the lady that was watching Janus in my absence ended up being a worshiper of the dark gods, and I killed her and replaced her. Either this always happens, or there's a side story I missed. I did try to do all the side stuff I found, but it's completely possible I missed some. 5 years after the Epitaph campaign, Phobos 6 died out as a result of an unknown scourge that came from beneath the ground. Yes, stuff was coming out of the ground there on like 2 or 3 different occasions. I handled it, but I guess there was more. Convicts and overseers were poisoned, mangled, or just disappeared. However, the slave barracks were quickly repopulated, and there was no shortage of outcasts and criminals in the Expanse. We just got more prisoners. Go mine. No longer secluded and forlorn, Foulstone turned into the spiritual center of the Expanse. Clad in gold and power, rulers went there to be anointed for greatness, criminals for penance, and the righteous for encouragement, and there was no end to them in sight. Treasures and influence quickly corrupted the supreme hierarchs of Foulstone, turning them into a coterie of venal egotists anointed by greed. As they did dirty deeds done dirt cheap, under the cover of holy vestments, their power steadily grew. It is hardly surprising that a few years later, the hierarchs of Foulstone recognized the blood relationship between the patrons, the Von Valancius dynasty, and St. Cognatius himself. After recovering from Corda's regime, Footfall reclaimed its status as the trading hub of the Expanse. Having learned a bitter lesson, Vladimir Takara created the Footfall Partisans Militia, a well-equipped mercenary army that answered only to him, a modicum of order returned to the station. Left without a sun, the Rykad system ceased to exist. Yeah, Chapter 1, they stole the sun. Its now frigid planet spun away into the darkness. Oh god. No longer held by the gravitational pull of their star. A century later, a fragment of Rykad Minoris entered the Feribunda system and was snared by void miners. A piece of its rock was delivered to Footfall with reverence and used in the restoration of the God Emperor statue as a final memorial to the world devoured by corruption. With the fall of their unholy patron, the Edge of Daybreak, the cult of the Final Dawn perished as well. Every cell of the cult was hunted down and eliminated. Rumors that some worshippers of the ruinous powers had managed to get away, hiding the writings of their warp-banished lord under their robes, were baseless. Left without a mission or a leader, the Word-Bearers retreated to the depths of the Immaterium. Their last act of vengeance was the bloody assault on Footfall. Yeah, this guy was one of the bosses at the end of Chapter 4. The populace of several asteroids was exterminated or enslaved, and the statue of the God Emperor was badly damaged. So they told me how they repaired the statue, and then told me that it got damaged. Rumors of the rotting remains of an Eldari craft world spread around the Expanse. Explorators, privateers, Kazbalika agents, and anyone hungry for easy money all rushed to frontier systems to vie for a piece of the pie. Some were swallowed by the warp, others perished in skirmishes with their rivals. The most skilled and fortunate returned empty-handed after decades of searching. The colossal ship, as big as an imperial world, simply vanished, as if it had never existed. But the legend of the forbidden treasure lived on and continued to bring daring souls to ruin. Half a century later, the Expanse trembled to the echo of Eldari war songs. Myriad warbands appeared out of nowhere, leaving a trail of bodies in their wake before disappearing into webway gates, masterfully hidden in the eyes of Munkay. The children of Asuryan had come to avenge the death of the craft world Kruderok. Their woeful retribution lasted many decades until both races were war-worn and out of blood to spill. The spirit monolith, purified by the Harlequin troop on the Crone world, was hidden from the insatiable eyes of Munkay by raging warp storms. Ships started going missing more frequently in the systems close to the planet. Even the most courageous captains gave the region a wide berth, and it was named the Damned Reefs. Somewhere on the underside of reality lie Komarog, woven from manifold another dimensions and illuminated as always with the light of stolen suns, its streets ever filled with screams and agony. Any misfortune experienced by the Dark City became another scar on its appalling face, lost among thousands of other vile blemishes. As long as pain pulsed in its blood-soaked spires, the insatiable and unshakable Komarog continued its flight through the webway, along with its unchanging ruler, the leader of the Cabal of the Black Heart, and the most dangerous of all Drukhari, as Drubale Vect. So we had a run-in with him. After the rogue trader's visit, dimensional rifts opened around the spire of the Reaving Tempest, flooding the streets of Komarog with demons. Oh yeah, I lowered their shield on the way out. The incursion terrified Komarog. The Cabal of the Black Heart managed to stop it, but some Archons saw the event as a sign of their leader's weakness. Others interpreted it as a grim open for the entirety of the Dark City. I forgot I did that. On my way out of this place, I basically unlocked the doors. It was like, yo, demons, and then I just left. I didn't know this is awesome. This is great. The fall of the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest united Komarog for a brief and bloody moment. The elites of the Dark City set their squabbles aside and found new game in tearing apart the domain of Archon Eurymerus. The fate of the Reaving Tempest reminded the other Cabals that nothing lasts forever in the Dark City, save the city itself. The dimensional gate leading to the Necron Tome worlds was sealed, and not a soul knew what transpired on the other side. But now and then, rumors come from the fringes of systems settled by humanity, rumors of sickle-shaped ships that appear and disappear suddenly without showing any signs of hostility yet. The voice of Voxmaster Victus Suriota of the Ptoleman dynasty was long heard in the Kronos Expanse, trumpeting the arrival of the rogue trader. It brought glad tidings to the faithful and instilled horrors in heretics awaiting righteous retribution. After her death, Victus was granted the honor of being immortalized in a herald servo skull. For many centuries to come, her voice praised the Von Valancius dynasty, transmitting orders across the decks. Yo, it is with great honor. I am a flying skull. Doot doot. Just like zooming around, blaring horns. Master Helmsman Ravor diligently executed his duties until his dying day without once succumbing to sleep's sweet embrace. Only when a piece of shell penetrated the bridge's armored hull and was stopped by the stern officer's unyielding chest did he finally know rest, leaning against his trusty helm. Oh my god. Wait, he never slept? I don't know if I learned that about him or not. Many years later, High Factotum Janaris Danrock sought permission to retire. He said that age had softened his heart and that a more worthy young and assertive successor should take over his position. There was no shortage of candidates. Under all that fat, Danrock had a sentimental heart. He spared nothing for the orphans of those who had served died serving the rogue trader. The children's were given an excellent education and were eager to serve the Von Valancius dynasty. I never noticed he had a magnifying glass stuck onto like a gauntlet. And then another one up there. Urban Drivestem cared more about preserving the influence of his line than the well-being of the Protectorate. His blind ambition lost him his governor's seat and the respect of his family. Within a few generations, one of the largest houses of Dargonis turned into an obscure family of petty aristocrats. Yeah, this was the guy that his kid told him that, what was it, the Worsarians were bad, and he believed him, and then started this whole, like, trial, and then it came into light that his kid just lied. Toriana Gaprak missed the moment when her family, which had previously functioned like a well-oiled machine, started to fall apart, racked by infighting. Among her distant relatives, many blamed Toriana for the Kiava Gamma disaster. Soon, the Gaprak family splintered into warring factions and spent centuries locked into a violent struggle, only occasionally punctuated by futile attempts to reunite the house. Makarius Sarbak was loyal to the rogue trader to the last, despite all the rumors to the contrary. This is the guy that insulted me constantly to my face. Finding little affection among his subjects or family, he stayed true to himself, remaining a forthright, severe, and pious person. Makarius strived to ensure that every soul in his charge felt justifiable dread both before him and the God Emperor. Members of House Worsarian served the dynasty faithfully and loyally, amassing more and more power. A century later, they had finally gained the respect enjoyed by other noble houses. Yet, power and luxury can dull any blade. The now pampered and idle aristocrats were scarcely recognizable as the descendants of the formidable Seneschal Worsarian. For reasons unknown, members of the Worsarian family found themselves time and time again as targets of assassinations, victims of unpredictable riots, and the focus of palace intrigue. The misfortune that plagued the house suddenly stopped when Regina Sauerbach met her end. Oh! Okay, so yo, the Worsarians thought that like everybody hated them and it was just Regina pulling a bunch of strings? Clementia Worsarian, daughter of Abelard and Chancellor of Dargonis, executed her duties irreproachably and even found time to school the younger generations of her family. She was an equally skilled mentor, chancellor, and political operative. After a century of immaculate service, she surprised everyone by leaving her position and becoming the first mate on a trade ship. She would later admit, like a true Worsarian, that she had always had a passion for ships and voidfaring. The retribution that Nocturne of Oblivion promised the rogue trader arrived when relentless Eldaria Avengers swept down on the Von Valancius Protectorate. In their wake, several Harlequin troops performed a monstrous and mesmerizingly bloody melody of coals fading in the night that bathed Janus in the sorrow and fury of the playwright in a horn mask. Yeah, we killed this guy in a fight and then he got away with 1 HP, so whoops. After months of searching, Dargonis wardens found the remains of Achilleus Scalander on the lowest levels of the Hive. Drukari artifacts and records discovered beside him indicated that the Age of the Inquisition had been compromised and was working for the Xenos. Oh no! The savage deeds that Gorde Skatov witnessed on Footfall traumatized him forever. His architectural genius was shattered. Only the rare collections of true connoisseurs held his work, written in a shaky hand, Footfall, the ultimate void station and mortuary. Adelia Bellardo, granddaughter of the pirate Jerry Can Dens Bellardo, grew up to be a quick-witted and energetic captain. Since her guardian, who went simply by the name Chaplain, knew only faith, slaughter, and voidfaring, he advised her to invest her inheritance in a void ship. Her trade clipper, the Snake, traveled to all the settled worlds of the Expanse and so many uncharted ones as well. And all the time that Adelia Bellardo was captain, her ship never once fired on a civilian vessel. Oh, nice. The Expanse is full of strange stories, yet one of the most bizarre tales emerged in the wake of the rogue trader Von Valancius' rise to prominence. According to the legends, on every world the rogue trader visited, people or objects would suddenly vanish without a trace, as if they found themselves in the same room as a mirror, even an utterly ordinary one. Wait, what? Wait. Is this about the cursed mirror we had locked away in the hull? What? Hello, Noxie. Thank you for the raid. Welcome. Mukluk, Douglas, Bartholomew, Reginald, Esquire, the Fourth, this is Johnson, Vegetables, the Third, Goes all of you to the lap. Hope you enjoy our entertainment's on the way. Cricket, the speaker, sub, touch, fingers, giveaways, everything. Please take a seat. We're only to the edge. We just beat the final boss fight of Rogue Trader, and this is one of those games with a million different endings, and we're reading the outro stuff of what happened for our ending.
Good evening. Mukluk, hi, good luck in 40k Rouge trading.
Rouge trading.
Mukluk,
we're trading
hi.
makeup now. So some of you may remember we found on a planet a mirror, and we brought it onto our ship, and everybody kept going missing near it. So we put it in a room and threw in a bunch of bombs and blew it up, and it was unharmed. So we sealed the room. So there was one room sealed on our ship that had this like cursed mirror in it. And this is according to legend, on every world the Rogue Trader visited, people or objects would suddenly vanish without a trace if they found themselves in the same room as a mirror. Even an utterly ordinary one. So we didn't realize we were kind of carrying that curse around with us. That's wild. Abelard Orsarian remained the loyal Lord Captain Seneschal and right-hand man until his dying breath. House Orsarian, cleared of accusations of mutiny, dedicated itself to Dargonis' fleet. When years later Abelard left this world, the worthiest successor of his family received the honor of inheriting the high office of Seneschal. Having completed his last journey with the Lord Captain, Abelard Orsarian, with the gracious permission of the Rogue Trader, left his post as Seneschal and took over the helm of his large family. House Orsarian rose above its rivals and was never again the target of persecution, even after their esteemed patriarch died decades later in his bed surrounded by his grieving loved ones. Abelard's shining memory was blighted only by rumors of a creeping madness in the twilight of his life. Many said they had seen the esteemed Seneschal talking to someone unseen in a voice filled with unusual tenderness and sorrow. I wonder if he was seeing, like, visions of Theodora. Or his wife. When he went crazy when we went into the warp that one time, he was talking to his wife, which had died years before. After the victory on Epitaph, Argenta left the Rogue Trader. An insatiable flame burned brighter and brighter in her soul, hungry for vengeance, and so the sister embarked on her own personal crusade. At first, she hunted and exterminated the remaining followers of the Final Dawn. Then she pursued anyone who had abetted them. Then anyone in whom she saw a hint of heresy. Even when she directed her wrath against entire cities, no power could stop Argenta, clad in her sacred armor. She left a trail of fire and blood across the expanse, a trail that ended on Salus Prime. No one knows why the sister returned for a third time to the planet where she found her relic, but after descending to its surface, she mysteriously vanished. In her journey with the Rogue Trader, Cassia Orselio experienced all the hardships and delights of the galaxy. The invaluable experience and new knowledge helped her to finally conquer her fears and accept herself and her powers. The Lady Navigator became Novator of her house, tasked with addressing the consequences of Tisiphone's rule and the chaos that followed her disappearance. For the duration of her reign, she patiently worked on uniting the feuding branches of her house, forging alliances, and expanding the influence of House Orselio. The Starway Atlas, which contained the memories of Tisiphone and the Sethala clan, lost its power. House Orselio's navigators once again had to rely on skill alone in the depths of the Immaterium. Many lost their lives, but those who survived the crisis became hardened veterans and pillars of the house. Most of the fortunate souls were young and brave, too few among them were old and wise. Despite scandalous rumors about a love affair with the Rogue Trader, not a rumor, Lady Navigator Cassia continued to accompany her lover among the stars of the Expanse for a time. Their love was like a candle flame, warm, tremulous, insatiable, and quickly extinguished. No! When Cassia took the throne as Novator, love gave way to duty. Some praised their doomed love over glasses of Amasec, while others cursed it and spat in disgust. Yet, even after entering an arranged marriage and passing on her precious genes, Cassia kept in contact with the only person she has ever fully loved until her dying day. Oh my gosh. Yo, I ended up being the other man in the end? Oh my god. On announcing the discontinuing of the cycle, a Marnat collective instilled terror in the hearts of those who revered the theorems of purity, but it gave hope to others. After gathering its disciples and recruiting servo soldiers from vassal planets, it ventured to the worlds of the Screaming Vortex and to the infernal forges of the Dark Mechanicus. This march of re-indoctrination was meant to seize the stolen secrets of the Omnissiah from the hands of heretics, temper the cult in the fire of battle, and transform it into a tool for both eradication and comprehension. The fleet disappeared in the darkness, and only rare echoes of its astropathic messages were ever intercepted. The unit Abel Hanuman continued its service to the Amarnat Collective. In unity with 5 companion minds, he rediscovered the joy of direct cognitive communication, unmarred by inborn otherness. While outwardly silent, he joyfully described the images, concepts, and ideas that the Omnissiah revealed to him. Fulfilling his function, he overflowed with the exultation of efficiency. Irliet Lenevase remained a prisoner. Okay, so Irliet, she... Hold on, it's so loud. She led me into a trap. And it was clear that they, like, forced her to or something, but, like, that was when my guy was full-blown, alright, I hate Xenos.